So we continue with our latest update on the coronavirus. South Africans who were evacuated from Wuhan in China have now spent 3 nights at the ranch in Polokwane, Limpopo. For an update, we joined now via Skype Dr. Ahmed Bham, who is a physician. He was part of that repatriation team to China. A very good evening to you, Dr. Bham, and thank you so much for speaking to us. How are you and everyone else doing, Dr. Bham?
Good evening from the ranch in Polokwane. We're doing quite well, in high spirit, and everyone's doing quite well. The South African repatriees, the team as well, and the whole contingency here, the staff at the hotel, all of us.
I want to talk about your health and those around you, Dr. Bham. We made sure that everybody else who is here is coming in healthy and no one has contracted the coronavirus. Is that still the case?
Yes, no, that's still the case. I mean, everyone's healthy. No one's been symptomatic. We've done all our swab tests. And, everyone is healthy. We're monitoring everyone daily, doing our temperature checks. As you know, the virus has an incubation period, but since our citizens were in Wuhan, they were tested there as well. They were there for quite a while. They were not symptomatic, and we brought in healthy citizens. But we're doing our checks and monitoring here from at the ranch, at the quarantine.
And that includes your health, Dr. Bham. You have not experienced any symptoms at all?
We have not experienced any symptoms at all. We do have 1 or 2 citizens that are here, but they've got it was chronic medical conditions not related to any of the COVID-19, but they're doing well. We've given medication and that as well to them, but they're doing well.
Okay, let's talk about the quarantine itself. Has it been challenging for those who are repatriated back to assimilate to the new environment, obviously being back home, but also just the conditions of being quarantined?
I think, it has been challenging, especially for the repatriees, they've been away at Wuhan almost 54 days and some not more in lockdown. So coming back home, they would like to meet their families, but they're very understanding, they do understand and very appreciative. There was a lot of tears of joy as well, and, a lot of stories to tell us, and how appreciative they are to be back home as well, man. Yes, but missing their families, and they can't wait for the quarantine time to get over so they can be reunited with the families as well. But every day the spirits are high. Everyone is moving around, enjoying it as much as they can. But missing home, at least there's Wi-Fi, there's telephonic, they can get in touch with their loved ones from here.
So I need to just understand, I can imagine a whole lot of us would love to be a fly on the wall to just see what exactly it means to be quarantined, and especially communities who might find themselves as being hosts for those who have to be quarantined. What exactly does it involve in terms of limitation of movement, who you can be in contact with, etc., etc.?
So what we've done in the quarantine zone is we've divided all the citizens as well as all of us into different areas, different rooms. We are all in single rooms. We've got some families which are very limited that are in few rooms, but we've got different areas where they eat. There's a social distancing. There's lots of housekeeping rules, if I put that, in terms of no facilities must be used. But the people who've come here do understand the social distancing and do understand this, being in China as well. They have seen how the Chinese have implemented all of these procedures and that before they've arrived. So they adapted quite well to it as well,
Okay, so we'll go to the repatriation issue in just a moment, but I want to understand correctly, did you say that you've got some families? Who are these families? Are they families of those who had gone to China or families of those who have returned from China?
No, we've got some of the people who have returned from China are families. It's the families that have returned, They've gone there on I know what they were there during the time of COVID-19, but they've come back as well. So very limited of them.
Let's talk about the repatriation exercise itself. What can you tell us of that experience?
It was very challenging in terms of, a lot of preparations had to be done. But in the end, it turned out quite well. A lot of planning went into it as well. We also consulted a lot of other countries that have done repatriations. And we learned a lot of what they've done and what challenges they faced. But with all the different departments within government, with all of us working together, we really put a lot of plans in place to go through to China. And, there's a lot of challenges in terms of flight planning, getting there, liaison with the Chinese government, which were really accommodating. And when we arrived as well in Wuhan, the Chinese received us quite well. They really assisted us quite well to get our citizens on. They did the screening. They were really, really hospitable in terms of getting us back on the way back to South Africa.
So just tell us, Dr. Bham, was there a psychological impact on the evacuees? Are you offering them any counseling?
Yes, we do. With our team that went down there from the South African National Defence Force, South African Military Health Service, we took some social workers with, some psychologists with, and they did offer their services here in the quarantine zone as well. We've had facilities open to all of the personnel, the repatriation team, the staff here, as well as all of the citizens that we've brought back. So we've made that available. They are having counseling sessions, and it's going really good. And all the way back, we briefed our citizens as well, prepared them, and if they needed at any time any assistance, there was someone available to assist.
All right, and finally, that final process of uniting the repatriees and their families, how will that unfold?
So what we'll be doing is before the quarantine time is over, once we'll do obviously swabbing again before that. From there, what we're going to do is we'll be doing the swabbing, and then after we do the swabbing, we'll be waiting for the test, and if everyone's negative, will be the reunification phase, where we'll involve the Department of Social Development. They will assist in reuniting the families as well. We'll be providing as well a lot of support in terms of counseling if needed, but those are the services that will happen.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, and all the best to you and those with you. Dr. Ahmed Bham, a physician who is part of the repatriation team to China and now in quarantine with those.